We're hitting one of the most historic and technically difficult trails in the West today on At Your Leisure, and we hope to survive the trip. Darren and Jill are exploring the eastern half of the Hole in the Rock Trail. Then join me, Zack, as I return to Japan for a bit of real life Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Minus the fast, minus the furious, and minus the drifting. Last but not least, Milia finds out why you don't have to wait for winter to pull out your snowboard. All you need is a little sand. On the Outdoors with AYL right now.
Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Jill Kinder.
And I'm Darren Kinder, and we're down here on the Hole in the Rock Trail in San Juan County. And we're out to find out how the pioneers made it.
I don't know how they made it on this road back then, but it's amazing.
Yep. Now Chad and Rhea came out and did the west side of the road here a few weeks ago, but we're going to try the east side of the road, which is a little tougher to get down here and find, but it's a really neat trail. We're just on the east side of Lake Powell, and we're going to ride down to the Rincon and overlook Lake Powell, so it should be an absolutely cool experience. Now it's about 43 miles out there, and so we brought our camping gear and we're going to spend the night out there and then return tomorrow morning, so it should be a great adventure.
Yeah, we are so excited about this trip. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a technical trail. We've got great experienced people with us, so it should be a lot of fun. Let's check out more about Hole in the Rock Trail.
Hole in the Rock Trail was a trail that the pioneers originally came from Escalante to Bluff, I believe it is, in their horse and wagons. And really a very interesting trail. Took quite the time to come down across the Colorado River at the time and make it up through all the sandstone. Just a great variety, good trail, over 40 miles long one way. Some challenging sections, some fun sections. We started out on gravel roads for 10 or 15 miles that are real nice and easy, well marked so you can find your way. Then we start to get into some more technical areas with a lot of sandstone, a lot of rocky areas, and drop down into a wash here and there. And one of the tougher spots is climbing up to what they call the Gray Mesa. It's a very rugged, rocky trail.
Certainly by far the most difficult trail I've been on as far as technicalities and whatnot. Some of the canyons and some of the areas, the rocky areas where never could see the ground until you were standing straight up and down on it. We got to stop today and we got to listen to some relative of one of the first pioneers. Got a little bit of history as to how long ago it happened and what it took for the pioneers to be able to do it.
This is the original Pioneer Road, the original Hole in the Rock Road. And what happened, some people in Lanyon, whatever, when they came, my mining company improved this, and what they did, when they came in, they said, let's leave that pristine. It's called slick rocks is what they call it. That's what it's called, that portion of the trail.
You've got to be prepared. You've got to have spare tire, you've got to have tire repair kits, you've got to have belts, you've got to have tools, you've got to have extra fuel, carry it safely. You just got to figure you're out in the wilderness, and the phone service is pretty good, but there's not a lot of people to help you if you have trouble. The best part about Hole in the Rock is nobody's here. It's more remote than most areas. San Juan County is more remote, and it's just a great pleasure to go and get away from the crowds and enjoy a nice trail.
With school going and kids and the things that they're doing and all the different activities, to be able to have some one-on-one time, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Just beautiful sandstone scenery, southern Utah, San Juan County.
Maybe you can see, but Lake Powell is way back there right behind us. And as we go through the day, we'll get a little bit closer and closer till we're about a mile away. And so that's our destination.
Yep, hopefully we'll be able to look over the water this afternoon. So.
Yeah, but it's been fun so far. What do you think?
I really like it. It's a really fun trail. It's not too tough so far. It's really cool to see, like, there's these little cuts in the rock, and it looks like, you can almost see where the old wagon trail went through here. And it's, it's a real piece of history, because these guys really, Brigham Young sent them out of Escalante to head over and settle Bluff. And so they had their work cut out for them, but apparently they did a great job and everybody arrived safely. And so we're hoping the same for ourselves today.
That's right. Well, we've got a long way to go, so why don't you take a look at our travel adventure, which, speaking of long ways to go, Zack is in Japan figuring out how to Mario Kart in Tokyo.
Hey guys, Zack Cipriano having just a stellar time out here in Tokyo. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever considered coming to Japan, but I highly recommend it. You might be thinking to yourself, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like my thing. Well, I'm here to tell you that there are plenty of different adventures out there that can match pretty much any experience you want. Let me show you.
Tokyo is one of the most eclectic, amazing, fast-paced cities in the world, and it also has a very spiritual side. And I think that Tokyo really has something for everyone. So, of course, Japan has a long history and is quite famous for geisha and samurai and ancient Japan. And then it also is quite famous for high tech and robots and sort of the kind of craziness of any big city.
Now, the word city almost doesn't do Tokyo justice. What with its 23 special wards spanning 845 square miles holding a population of 37.8 million people, in the greater Tokyo area, there can be a lot to do and see, which is why Rachel and I needed a way to cover a lot of ground and fast. Enter the Maricar. Taking on the personas of our favorite superheroes, video game characters, and cartoons, all of us are ready to hit the pavement. Although we left from the Akihabara shop, Maricar has other locations in Shinagawa, Shibuya, and Shinkiba, to name a few. Our go-karts zoomed through the heavy traffic of downtown Tokyo, but despite that, we always felt safe and completely enamored by the towering skyscrapers of the metropolitan area. Sites on our tour included Ginza, a popular shopping district, Tokyo Tower, the Bay, and even the Emperor's Palace. I personally enjoyed riding over Rainbow Bridge and speeding along the loop leading up to it. Rachel, well, I think she enjoyed the paparazzi that tried to stealthily snap pictures of us during our tour. But remember, there are two halves to the city, two dynamic components that truly complete each other. In order to fully experience Tokyo, one must take a moment to stop and smell the cherry blossoms, so to speak. And there's no better place to do that than Asakusa.
So we're in the Asakusa area of Tokyo. It's in Taito-ku, and this is a very shitamachi or downtown neighborhood. Back in the day, this was a very working class neighborhood. It's also very famous for the temple behind me. So that's Sensoji Temple. That's the #1 visited spot in Tokyo, and it has been for hundreds of years. So one of the things that's special about the Sensoji and Asakusa area is that on the same ground there's both Shinto and Buddhist temple and shrine. Shinto is an indigenous religion in Japan that's based on ancestry and nature, and then the Buddhist temple was brought over from China into Japan more than 1,000 years ago.
For centuries, pilgrims made the trek to Sensoji for various religious, spiritual, or festive reasons. It's hard not to wonder what this place looked like so long ago, without the throngs of tourists, like myself, perusing these sacred grounds. Well, according to our guide, it sounds like it actually wasn't much different.
The lead up to any temple, actually, almost anywhere, there'll be a main street that comes to the main gates of the temple. And in the case of Asakusa and Sensoji Temple, that street is called Nakamise. Naka means center, and mise is like shop. And this is not something new. It's not like south of the border or a tourist trap. This has actually been here for as long as the temple has been here. So when pilgrims would come and visit the temple, they would come from a very far away, and it was a big trip for them. And they would come walk up through that center street, and they could get something to eat, something to drink, some souvenir to remember their trip to the temple by. So that tradition continues today.
Much like how a Shinto shrine and a Buddhist temple can exist on the same plot of land, the yin and yang of Tokyo balance each other. Equal parts adrenaline rush and tech junkie overload, spiritual enlightenment, and calming introspection. The spirit of this city is real, and it was worth traveling all the way across the globe just to get a feel of it.
I think people are afraid to come to Japan. There are a lot of myths about Japan that are still out there in the world, that it'll be hard to get around, that it's too expensive, that there's a language barrier. But I think actually once you arrive here, you'll realize that people really want to help you have a good time. Don't let the myths that you've heard kind of scare you away. There really is something for everyone, and it's a very approachable place once you get here.
Well, I would like to give a huge thanks to Maricar and to Arigato Japan Food Tours for two truly unique experiences. Well, I'm Zack Cipriano. We are gonna take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're gonna have your product review. Don't go anywhere. I mean that.
In a place that is beyond words, there is nothing to be said, except take your time in Bryce Canyon country.
Introducing the lightweight shot starter, only on the 2018 Ski-Doo mountain sleds, with next generation engine and platform. For the unmatched power and handling to own the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next.
Save up to $2,000 on select 2017 models, plus great financing.
Look south to adventure. Look south to beauty. Look south to San Juan County. Out here, the road goes on forever, and what you'll find will change how you see the world. Climb on your OHV and discover forgotten landscapes and vistas that challenge the imagination. From Blanding and Monticello to the cliff faces of Monument Valley, we're open and ready for you to explore. San Juan County, Utah's Canyon Country.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. I'm Jordan Wayman, and for this week's product review, we're gonna do something just a little bit different, and we're gonna give you a little tease for what winter has coming. I'm right here with my friends Russ and David, and what do you have for us
Jordan,
here?
How are you? Jordan. Well, we're excited. We got a little bit of snow in the mountains this last week, and so guess what? It's time to unleash the beast. This is a snow check. So what he did is he picked all of his colors. So the trailing arms, the color, the tunnel. So this is a good one.
It's the Axis Pro. This one's a 163. 3-inch track.
Okay.
You have your options of ordering it with electric start, not electric start. These are the funnest snowmobiles you can ride. They're just, they cut, they carve. If you buy the 3.0 track, you get the chain case. If you get the 2.6, it has the belt drive.
David's the biggest snowmobiler in this group. He is a die-hard snowmobiler.
Die-hard
But
snowmobiler.
All right.
ask him how many times, what he rode most in the snow last year.
What'd you ride
David?
most?
I didn't ride a snowmobile last year after the middle of February.
What happened?
And he rode through June, right?
I rode on the snow on the 15th of June.
Okay.
On a snow bike, not a snowmobile.
Timber sled.
What a rush, what a rush. A lot of fun. Put them together. I was skeptical. I didn't think I'd ever cure my urge to ride snowmobile on a dirt bike in the snow. No way. Well, the snowmobile never came out of the truck. Timbers every weekend, and we rode on the 15th of June.
Russ, what are you excited about for this year in the
You guys
snow?
already talked about all the fun stuff. I mean, I love timber sleds too. I actually rode a little bit more than he did before. Now, he's actually put a lot more time on the timber sled. My family and I have snowmobiles. We go up to cabins. We spend a lot of family time in the snow. But, you know, we also got to think about snow, that there's a lot of work. You know,
Right.
we got snow blowers. We got snow plows. We got all the stuff to make it a lot more fun. Tracks on any of these side-by-sides. You know, people that are cabin owners, they're putting snow tracks on these. There's a lot of things that you can do, and the snow is a lot of fun to play in.
Hey, well, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Russ. I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun getting ready for snow season. So, am I going to go on the timber sled with you, or am I going snowmobiling with you?
We'll do rock, paper, scissors. There's a little bit of snow up there, but there's getting a lot more. Ready to go. Oh, crap. We got both.
I guess I'm doing both this weekend.
I guess you made out of that one, didn't you?
Yeah. So, that's been this week's product review. I'm Jordan Wayman, and we'll be back with more At Your Leisure right after this.
Family time, friend time, your time. You've been thinking about getting a machine, but which one is right for you? An ATV, side-by-side, or dirt bike? Steadman's Recreation has Utah's largest selection of Honda, Polaris, Yamaha, and Beta machines. See them all at Steadman's Recreation in Tooele. Need a tune-up, new tires, or want a winch? Steadman's service department can help.
Steadman's Recreation in Tooele. You may think it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's only 30 miles back.
There's a little place on a Utah map where I was raised, where my heart's at, where the sagebrush grows wild and high, and the stars come out at night. Oh, there ain't nothing like being raised in the basin with a Ute reservation, skiing starvation, that Duchesne County life.
You know, mountain biking is a great activity, particularly in southern Utah in the colder months of winter. Here we are in November, and it's still delightful weather down in the Grand Staircase Escalante. The thing is, when you come back from your bike ride, you're all dirty. That's the great thing about having an RV from Ray City RV, because you've got a nice rest stop waiting for you at the trailhead. Make your dinner and enjoy a beautiful sunset. Ray City RV, your low price leader since 1946.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are at the end of our journey for today on the Hole in the Rock Trail. But tomorrow we hope to get a little bit closer to Lake Powell. It was just a long day. We had a
Lots of fun, yeah.
Great ride. But it's just a little long. We're a long ways away from anything.
Yeah, yeah, and when you're like that, you know, you've got to, you know, we stopped a little early, we found this great little wash to camp out in for the night.
Yeah, a few trees to block the wind.
Yep, and you know, you got to kind of be prepared for anything that wildness has to throw at you. So let's take a look and see what it takes to prepare for something like this.
I actually like camping because it's better than just staying in your house like, hey, Mom, can I be on my laptop? Hey, Mom, can I get on my iPad? It's like there's more to the world than just a house, but there's way more than meets the eye.
When I was a kid growing up, my dad was probably the most unprepared person on the face of the planet. And that's honestly what made me not like it until I was in my mid-20s. And then I could finally do it myself, so I could buy my own stuff. I could make sure that I had the necessities that I need, and as long as it's comfortable, it's awesome. But you need to have those little things. Make sure you have tools, and spare tires and belts, and food, the food you like, and shelter. Just make sure you have enough storage on your machine to fit it all. Sleeping bags, tents. Like I have my iPod, we listen to music, you know, just the little things. Because yeah, if you don't have them, it's miserable.
How's it look? Does it look good? Does it look good? Oh, a little more?
I put together my essential package, and I have dry boxes, and I have a system where I have just stuff that stays in these dry boxes all year. They never leave them, so that when I come on a trip like this, I throw the dry box in and we're good to go. I've built racks, and I have things on my ATV that necessitate what I need to take. And I guess if it got to the point where I couldn't build or make or buy the things that it would take to make that happen, I wouldn't go. But hopefully it makes them kind of enjoy this, respect it. Even if it's something that they don't move forward with throughout the rest of their life, they can at least understand why people do it. Plus, we just get to spend time with each other and tease each other and laugh.
I like about camping to just enjoy nature, spend quality time with your family.
I just hope they have good memories. Like I said, my dad did this when I was a kid, and we had fun, but it was miserable. But it was still fun. It was fun to just get away from home, get away from the daily grind, and just enjoy life. And that's what I hope they get from this.
So as you can see, if you come prepared, you can create great memories with your family and friends.
And we've had a great time today, but I'm exhausted.
It has been a long day.
So let's go check out the tent.
That sounds like a good idea. We've got a long day coming up tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see some more amazing views.
Yep. And while we go check out our tent, you check out the Trailhead Adventure, brought to you by RockyMountainATVMC.com.
Anybody that walks out here in the dunes, first thing they do is realize how nice these dunes are, and they want to slide down these dunes.
The Oceana Sand Dunes, just south of Pismo Beach, California, stretch for miles along the rippling waves of the Pacific. The deceptively soft sand is the perfect playground for off-roaders, but also offers surprising thrills that you would expect to find only in the higher elevations in frigid temperatures. This is dune boarding, a sport that has allowed men like Lino Rico to turn their dreams of sand surfing into a reality.
I'd always try to slide down these hills. We used cardboard boxes. When snowboarding came about, I took the same design, similar to that, and then made my own board.
Oh, it was so awesome. I mean, it was a little terrifying at first, but once you got the hang of it, it was awesome. And the wind was blowing in your face, and when you picked up a lot of speed, it was a lot of fun. And falling didn't hurt that bad, so that was also a plus.
When you hit one of these dunes that we slide down, it's the slip face. It's really soft, and you could feel the board go through the edge go right through that dune, and you get speed, and it feels pretty good. There's some techniques that you need to understand when you go dune boarding, and one of the first ones is speed. The second one is control. So as you're dune boarding, the first thing you're going to learn is a little bit of control. And that helps you learn new things. You'll see people doing things, and you're like, well, I don't know if I could ever do that.
I'm from Utah, but I've never been snowboarding myself, and it was a little challenge. Biffed it a lot of times, but it was great. Couldn't believe that you could go down sand dunes on a board.
Sandboarding actually began in ancient Egypt and was revived again in the 1940s. It didn't really pick up steam, though, until the early 1990s, when it quickly caught on throughout the world, particularly in desert spots where other forms of recreation were limited. But the sport never really gained the same popularity as snowboarding, since you can't build lifts in the sand, and so you're forced to hike or ride to the top of the dune after each run. Even so, men like Lino Rico are working hard to introduce more people to the sport, training them to ride a dune in summer like they would a ski slope in winter.
He was amazing. He was able to watch you and tell you what you were doing wrong and telling you what you were doing right so that you're able to correct yourself and go better on the next run.
If you fell down, he told you a different trick to try, and you just got back up and tried that one.
To teach somebody to actually dune board, it's actually a thrill for me, because for me, I had to learn by doing. But once I got to know how to actually do it, teaching somebody else the sport that I love, it's actually a thrill for me. So I enjoy seeing everybody else enjoy the same thing that I have a passion for.
I thought it was going to be hard because of the sand, and it was hard walking up there, but going down you just have to have balance, and I don't have balance, but it was easy.
Dune boarding classes are, of course, available at the Oceana Dunes, but wherever massive sand mountains rise, you can find boarders willing to pass on their craft. And while it may seem extreme to strap on a waxed board and hit a sand dune, it's new experiences like these that define our lives, framing our familial interactions with laughter, thrills, and yes, even a few falls.
I think trying new things like that builds bonds, and as a father, you want those bonds with your kids. Good, fun experiences like that where you can share the outdoors and be alongside of them.
It's a great way to learn that you like new things. You're able to find out new things about yourself that you find out, hey, I'm actually really good at this, or I'm really bad at this, but it was fun and I learned how to improve myself today.
Leave the parka at home and hit the dunes instead. For At Your Leisure, I'm Milia Stringham.
It's time for the Black Friday sale you actually want to go to. November 24th and 25th in Camas, Weller Recreation is making Black Friday worth waking up for. Get the best deal of the year on all your climb gear. 35% off in-stock clothing, 20% off in-stock accessories, and 40 to 60% off all non-current apparel. It all starts November 24th at 10 a.m. Get into Weller Recreation Superstore right off Highway 248 going into Camas. If you want more info, check out wellerrec.com.
Our Trailhead segment today is sponsored by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. That's that great place where you can order all kinds of accessories for your ATV or your motorcycles, and they'll ship it right to your door.
Hi, I'm Chad Booth, host of the TV show At Your Leisure. Those of you who watch our show know that we cover recreation in the West, and often we talk about land access issues. But did you know that land access is an important issue in the East too? BRC stands ready to help you protect that vital access to the sport that you love. So remember, no matter where you live in the USA, join, participate, and donate to the Blue Ribbon Coalition.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We're here on the Hole in the Rock Trail and we're having a great time.
We are. There's nothing better than a morning that you wake up to a view like this. It's just amazing.
That's a fun part about getting out and exploring this thing and hanging with your family. But remember, if you come out here, come prepared. Okay, I think we made it all of about 10 miles before we blew a belt. So make sure you don't bring Andrew with you. And if you do, bring an extra belt, okay?
Or two.
Yeah, exactly. You know, spare tire, food, water. Obviously, we camped out here overnight because it's only
a long way.
It's only 43 miles out here. That doesn't seem very long, but it's an all-day thing to get out here. You know, Jeeps can make it out here, ATVs. We even brought a 570 Razor out here. So, you know, most everything can make it on this trail. There's a few little tricky spots, but for the most part, it's not too bad.
You just have to take it easy and pay attention and you'll do just fine.
So this place is fairly easy to get to. You just come down 191 off of I-70 from Green River down to Hanksville. And then from Hanksville, you get on 95 and head east towards Blanding and Bluff.
Blanding, yeah.
And then you turn off of that at 297,
no,
right?
276.
276. So you take
Don't listen to him, 276.
Yeah, so you take 276 and it's about 26 miles, about halfway to Hall's Crossing, and you can't miss the signs in the trailhead.
Well, they are small signs, so make sure you pay attention. And it is about 28 or 30 miles into the trailhead. And it's on the left-hand side, says Hole in the Rock Trail. So there's a big parking lot area right there. And so, well, parking lot might be a stretch. There's a dirt
white spot
area.
In there, white spot in the road.
Right. Well, while we head back, let's take a look at our sticker winner, and Steve has that right now.
Thanks, Darren and Jill. I've got our winner right here. We got a license plate on the street legal UTV B26GF. There's the AOL sticker right there. This is your machine. Give us a call at 801-947-8888 because you just won a Camp Chef stove. I'm Stephen Human. Now let's take a look at what's on next week's episode of At Your Leisure.
Next week, we're celebrating Veterans Day at one museum where there's more to see and do than just appreciate the past. How does this location become a sacred place for our military veterans? Well, join Rhea and me as we find out. From there, Steve Human will embrace a more rural lifestyle. And Reese Stein basks in the adventure of Palm Springs.
Well, next week's show looks great.
Yeah, but we sure had a great time out here on the Hole in the Rock Trail, and it's been a good couple days.
It's been awesome. We have a few more miles to go. So remember, get out and create your own adventures at your leisure. We are here at